Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I'd like to give you a guide for the current dungeon ranking event. And I have to say I found last month's battle ranking very nice actually, even though the battle itself was annoying and it was mainly set up for that Lucia banner. But the reason why I liked it was because they increased the numbers, and we had 35 groups back then. And what it did was it diluted those whales and krakens, and it gave a lot more people a chance at top 10, top 20 or just much higher rank than normally. And that was great, especially because they increased the rewards, they changed them, and I specifically mean those materia boxes with yellow synths, and well below top 10 there really isn't much difference. Top 10 gets double the amount, so with increased group numbers it just felt a lot better. But now we are back towards 11 or 12 groups, and it's just back to a sweatfest of a ranking. I wish they would have kept 35 groups, but well, it is what it is. And I'm pretty much done with the ranking, and I'm just expecting the whole top 20 or more. It will consist of 5.9 million scores or higher, and it will just be back to being whales with the newest FF13 gear. So I just hope I'll end up somewhere in top 50, and I also hope that all of you will be able to still get a nice rank as well. This is the third month of ice content, and we only switched to magic, but it is the ice. And technically, this dungeon is a magic ice dungeon, however only 2 out of 5 bosses are actually weak to ice. So the only way to make all bosses weak to ice is either use Vincent with his anniversary weapon, or pull on that FF13 Cloud banner and then have another main DPS. And without a weapon that can apply ice weakness, you'll just suffer a lot more. So the ideal team setup would be Aerith buffing, Cloud as support, and Tifa as the main big PP DPS, all with those FF13 weapons. But for a more accessible team, I only have Aerith with FF13 gear, and overall I think it is a very good outfit and a weapon for any magic team, and it's just very much worth to get. And it will also make this ranking a lot easier and more bearable, because almost every enemy debuffs your command gauge, and you'll need to either wait for it to naturally max out again, or alternatively, Sid has a weapon that boosts command gauge, but it only boosts it by 20%, so you'll need to cast it multiple times, and it'll just be a lot of ADB wasted, and your score gets lowered for every ADB spent in the dungeon. But it really is still the best option without Aerith's FF13 staff. But otherwise, you can just have Aerith with Crimson and Lightning Rod, and then Sid with Rocket Lance for Feeble and Scimitar to buff ice damage. And Cloud is my only magic ice DPS, so I don't have any other options, but Yuffie also should be similar, I think. Aerith has Lightning outfit with Army of 1, Crimson for magic debuffs, Lightning for magic damage bonus, Cura just in case, but ideally you don't want to use it, Debrief and a stat stick, and then sub-equipment slots I have only one attack for allies weapon. Sid has default outfit with Icy Judgment, Rocket Lance for Enfeeble and to lower ice resistance, Scimitar to buff ice damage, Exegel just in case, Defaith and Debrave, and then sub-equipment slots Sid has 2 magic attack for allies weapons. Cloud has Ice Arcanum outfit with Shiva, 4th Royal for DPS, Fusion for attack buffs, 3 Ice Potency materia, and in sub-equipment slots Kath Paluk to max out magic attack and boost Ice Potency, Sword of GS for magic ability potency, and just another attack weapon. Alright. And first of all, ideally, you would want to go to Angeal and Sephiroth for that decreased magic ability AB use. However, if you do that, you'll be locked out and you'll leave those worst bosses for last and you'll just suffer there. So I'm just going to go to Rufus. Alright, it's just the first battle, so we have to wait. But now Aerith's lightning weapon, it instantly maxes out your command gauge, and this is actually very helpful, especially in ranking battles. But with Sid and Feeble, and try to debuff that physical attack, at least on Rufus, to take a little bit less damage. But after this, you want to break that force gauge as quickly as possible, so it'll just be one more hit. So let's buff Cloud's ice damage here. Right, let's use that for a bit more magic attack. And technically, you can ignore Darkstar. You could just, if you have enough DPS, you can just kill Rufus and Darkstar will automatically die, or rather you'll just win the battle. So if you have enough DPS to finish off Rufus very quickly, just ignore Darkstar and focus only on Rufus. But if you'll need a little bit longer in a battle, I think it is worth to kill off Darkstar, mainly because you won't be taking any damage, increased damage from him. Alright, and now the trance abilities. And I think honestly all of them are good here. Because you have everything. Everywhere you have magic attack, ice buffs, but I think that the left one is just, at least for me, it works the best. But now I'm going to go for Jenova. And mainly, at least I struggle most with Rufus and Jenova, so I want to take care of them as quickly as possible. So let's just save here and we'll just go for the boss. Alright, Jenova now, so just start the battle applying all magic and offensive buffs. You can't lower Jenova's magic defense, so don't bother with that. But with Sid, I'm just trying to get his limit break. So I'm just do whatever gives you that as quickly as possible. But just a little bit more. But also don't overkill the HP bar, because when you get to around 50%, Jenova will do Sigil Phase, and you won't be doing any damage to her, and you have to go through 50 sigils, so try to time it. Okay, that should be fine, just one more attack. It'll be close, yes. Perfect, actually, because the Sigil Phase didn't trigger yet, so she didn't get up her defenses, and those summons will finish her off, hopefully. Oh no. It is so close. Please, materia, work. That was close. But yeah, I already did a few tries, and it's just mainly trying to get that feeling when to trigger all of this, because that Sigil Phase begins very quickly, so just try to time it really. There isn't much else. Alright, trans abilities. And of course it's either the middle or right one, because they have both score boosts and they are similar. It just depends on your setup, so I just think I'll go for the right one this time, or overall. But now we are going for Angeal and Sephiroth. But here save it, because there will be ads. Alright, and on this battle, start with Crimson, because this attack will reduce your command gauge. So now you can just counter it with lightning stuff and just try to take care of this, of all the enemies, but you don't have to rush. I just think you could go for this left enemy first, but leave the bomb for last, and you can just sit on it because it won't attack you anymore. And this burst attack, it has a very slow charge time, so you can just sit around, do nothing, don't waste AB, and wait for your overspeed to recharge, whatever you need. Just a bit longer, and I think at around 75–80% you can just kill it off. And now let's just jump down and save before the boss, because this is another annoying one. Alright, Crimson and Lightning with Sid. Enfeeble and start buffing Cloud. You don't have to debuff Angeal's physical attack, it's fine. But one attack with Cloud will do. Just don't forget about buffing his magic attack and ice damage here. Let's see if I can get off one more attack. I think it was too late. Oh well, a little bit annoying. But now the same thing. And I am just waiting for Cloud Shiva so I can use it with Army of One. But I also want to debuff Angeal's, also completely deplete that gauge so I can get rid of Sephiroth's Veil and the gauge so I can stun them both. For Sid to apply Enfeeble for the most amount of damage here, and hopefully that will kind of finish off Angeal at least. Okay, that's fine. But now you have to kill both of them. Just a bit more. Well, I was hoping I would get that one more attack off before his defenses go up again. But also don't forget about all those buffs and debuffs. So, exploit weakness, there's magic damage bonus from Aerith. Always try to remember about those buffs. Right, this is done, so let's just do this. With Sid, I don't really have to use too much of his AB. And also, of course, on every attack of the enemy, always try to switch to defense to take a little bit less damage. But the thing is, after you defeat Angeal, Sephiroth enters the sigil phase, so he won't attack you, and you have a little bit of time to finish him off. Alright, transability, and on this boss, of course, take the right one because it will be -2 AB for every magic attack. And I'm going to save here because here are the cactuars that you have to defeat. Alright, lightning and some ice bouncy on Cloud, exploit weakness. And let's just try to defeat them. And ideally, I recommend try to switch your defense whenever they attack you, if you can see whenever they attack, because they are pretty much covered by all those icons. And also here, after you kill the cactuars for the first time, this is actually the third red chest. But now let's go for the final normal boss of the dungeon, which is Ifrit, and this is the easiest boss because this is the only normal boss that is weak to ice. And that's why I think it is best to leave him for last unless you have Vincent or Cloud with ice weakness. And Ifrit is very easy, so apply all those buffs and debuffs with Sid, also try to buff ice damage for Cloud. And should be just 2-3 attacks and the boss will die, so he won't attack you at all. Can't imagine the whole dungeon being like this. With ice weakness, it would be basically that. And now the last chance ability. And it should be, yeah, this is the one I think that is best because it gives you the most amount of DPS buffs and debuffs. And let's grab the last chest. And here on this hand I recommend save, because there will be the last set of enemies. Right, and on those trade populaces, don't use lightning staff, because with the dance of dread, they will apply dread status on you, so they will reduce your command gauge. So that's why you want to use lightning a little bit later, to just nullify that dread and max it out so you can easily defeat them. Just one more attack and done. Alright, and now it's the final boss, Masamune, left. So we have to go back almost to the starting area. Oh, come on. Alright, save again to not waste time. And let's go for the final boss. Alright, I'm going to activate overspeed on everyone. With Sid, just keep applying enfeeble and lowering ice resistance. With Cloud, exploit weakness and try to do some attacks. And with Aerith, it's just both staffs once. And hopefully this connects. Perfect, it should be enough. Hopefully. Yeah, perfect. But yeah, ideally you want to finish off Masamune before this attack hits. But in that time you just have to apply a lot of debuffs. So let's see how this turns out, but also overspeed. Other than on the DPS character, on the support characters it's always good to use it whenever you can, because you just save AB. Instead of 4 AB, you're just spending 3 AB, and that is actually very nice. But yeah, that's the whole score. And it's actually very good, I'm surprised a little bit. I expect a little bit lower score. 5.6 a little bit. But yeah, that will be all. So I hope you found it helpful. Good luck on your own run. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. And I hope to see you next one.